The program makes the world a better place, more or less depending on how it works. But, some programs make a big contribution and some make hardly any. But basically, you're behaving ethically if you release a free program. But to release a proprietary program is not a contribution to society, it's a power grab. And this should be discouraged and impeded. So if you have a choice to either develop a proprietary program or do something else and not develop any program, it's better if you don't develop any program. At least then you are doing no harm. Now, this might strike you as controversial, so let me briefly mention the reasons why these freedoms are essential. Freedom 2, the freedom to help your neighbor, the freedom to distribute exact copies of the program, is essential on fundamental moral grounds so you can live an ethical, upright life as a good member of your community. If you use a program without freedom 2, then you are in danger of falling into a moral dilemma. It can happen at any moment. Whenever your friend says, "That program is nice, could I have a copy?" In that moment, you will face a choice between two evils. One evil is to give your friend a copy and violate the license of the program. The other evil is to deny your friend a copy and comply with the license of the program. Being in the dilemma, you ought to choose the lesser evil, which is to give your friend a copy and violate the license of the program. What makes this the lesser evil? Well, if you can't avoid doing wrong to somebody or other, better to do it to somebody who deserves it. We can assume that your friend is a good member of your community and deserves normally your cooperation. By contrast, the proprietary software developer has deliberately tried to divide you from your friends, has deliberately attacked the social solidarity of your community. So if you have to do wrong to your friend or the developer, do it to the developer. But being the lesser evil does not make it good. It's never good to make an agreement and then break it. Now, some kinds of agreements are inherently evil, and keeping them is worse than breaking them. This is an example. But still, breaking the agreement is not good. And if you give your friend a copy, what will she have? She will have an unauthorized copy of a proprietary program. Something pretty bad. Almost as bad as an authorized copy would be. So really what you should do is make sure you never fall into the dilemma. I know of two ways. One is don't have any friends. That's what the proprietary software developers want you to do. The other is reject proprietary software. That's what I do. If someone offers me a program on the condition I promise not to share it with you, then no matter how convenient it would be, I reject it. I say, my conscience does not allow me to accept that condition, so take that nasty program out of here.
And do you have any phone?
And you should do the same thing. We should also reject the propaganda terms that the proprietary software developers and others who are against cooperation and sharing use to try to make it sound bad. Terms like, quote, pirate, unquote. When they say that if you help your neighbor, you're a pirate, what are they really trying to say? When they accuse people of copy and share of being pirates, or when they call them that, they're trying to equate helping your neighbor with attacking a ship. And morally speaking, that's as wrong as you can get, because attacking ships is very bad. But helping your neighbor is good. So we should refuse to use their twisted terminology. When people ask me what I think of piracy, I say attacking ships is very bad. When they ask me what I think of software piracy or music piracy, I say, as far as I know, pirates don't use computers or play musical instruments. They use guns. So I refuse to accept their twisted meanings of these terms. You should too. Well, that's the reason for freedom number 2, fundamental moral grounds that sharing knowledge with other people is good. Freedom 0, 1, and 3, the freedom to run the program as you wish, the freedom to study and change the source code, and the freedom to distribute copies of your modified versions, those are essential so that we can control our own computing, both individually and collectively. Freedom 0 and Freedom 1 allow us to do so individually. Freedom 0 means the license of the program doesn't restrict how you can use it. Freedom 1 means the code of the program doesn't restrict how you can use it. You're free to change it if you wish, free to adapt the program to do what you wish. Otherwise, the developer is deciding what you do in your computing. And when you don't have freedom 1, the freedom to study and change the source code, you can't even tell what the program is doing. And lots of proprietary programs have malicious features. For instance, Microsoft Windows has features to spy on the user, it has features to restrict the user, and it has features to attack the user. Specific known features. The feature to attack the user is a backdoor. Well, there's several, but one is a backdoor. Microsoft can arbitrarily decide to change the software at any time in any way, and the user has no say. So whatever malicious features it doesn't have today, it could have tomorrow. And Microsoft was once caught having installed a specific backdoor for the use of the U.S. government to spy on people in a piece of server software. But you might say Microsoft is not the only developer of proprietary software, and that's true. There are many of them. Let's consider Apple. Mac OS 10 has known features to restrict the user and known features to attack the user. It too has a backdoor that allows Apple to change the software in any arbitrary way at any time, and the user has no say. And these are not the only examples. Lots of cellular phones illustrate the same thing. It's common practice. What they're doing is, once they are given the unjust power that proprietary software gives them, then they try to use their power to get more power and more power until here you see they have taken total power. You have to be crazy to trust these programs. It's a matter of blind, irrational faith. The users deny to themselves what's really going on. So sometimes people ask whether free software has good security. The fact is proprietary software has no security.